Live. Hello everybody, welcome to our first special interview in English. Ok, sto parlando in inglese, è normale perché oggi andiamo lontani fuori dall'Italia. Abbiamo un ospite speciale che ho conosciuto 4 anni fa in Svizzera e poi ne parleremo. Lui è un trainer, un master instructor di Schwinn, un personal coach, fa un mucchio di cose, è legato a una scuola di formazione in Romania, ha un suo studio di indoor cycling, ma la cosa migliore è invitare in questo momento, welcome to Luciano Moldovan. Hello.
Hello Giancarlo, grazie per la tua invitazione. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Welcome to our digital sitting room. How are you?
I'm well, thanks, and I'm glad to say a big hello to everyone who's watching us. And it's a bit weird for me because it's my first interview, the first interview that I'm being interviewed and not interviewing people myself. Because recently I started a project for the worldwide community of Schwinn cycling, and I was always interviewing colleagues of mine, and now I'm on the other side of the screen, as to say, not necessarily on the other side of the camera.
Yes, because the idea to have an interview with you, it comes last month when I see your interview to the Italian Schwinn master.
Yes, with Igor. He's a mutual friend of ours, Igor, as I remember, because you guys know each other for many years now, and I mean, you are a well-known name in the industry, and the West Beach crew is so recognized in Italy and growing in image worldwide. So it's an honor to be part of the interview and to share some interesting things, I hope, together during the next minutes.
First question is just to know to everybody how is the situation in Bucharest.
Yeah, so what happened right now since March, everyone was really surprised worldwide with the whole pandemic situation, and throughout Romania, in the capital in Bucharest, and also in the region where we are based right now in Transylvania, everyone was looking for solutions in order to continue to keep their members close and to continue to teach, even though all the gyms and studios had to close for safety reasons.
How many times? How many here in Italy, for example, they stay closed, the clubs about 2 months, and then in the beginning of June they reopen.
So yeah, they reopened officially they could reopen on 15th of June, but with a lot of safety measures and distance between the bikes in the cycling studio, between the members who are doing group fitness classes. So practically there was an opportunity to reopen the studio from 15th of June, but with respecting 10 square meters around one person in order to offer them the chance to train safely. But during all this time when the situation was that you could not teach in a studio, as you noticed, worldwide, the tendency was to teach online classes. And what we have been doing for our own studio that we've opened in my wife's hometown and where we are based right now, in Chimleu, Silvaniei, we have our studio, Hard Cycling Studio, from where I'm transmitting right now. And what we've done is give the bikes home to our members and continue to teach classes by ourselves in the studio and presenting the class through the platforms that we had to use, including Zoom, of course, and Facebook and so on.
Okay, we will speak about this later. Yeah. One moment that I translate shortly to the person that are follow us
Sure.
in this moment. Ricordo che potete fare delle domande a Luciano online. Lui tra l'altro capisce abbastanza l'italiano perché lo ha iniziato a studiare, e in breve ci ha raccontato la stessa situazione che c'è in Italia. Loro hanno riavuto il permesso di riaprire il 15 di giugno con le distanze di 10 metri quadrati tra una bici e l'altra, e lui possiede un suo studio e hanno noleggiato, cioè hanno dato le biciclette a casa agli allievi e hanno continuato a fare le lezioni online. La stessa cosa che è successa qua. Here in this moment, the situation is stable, but we have about 400 or 500 new contagion every day. So there is a little bit alert from the people come back from the holiday. So September is everybody stay to see what can
happen.
the best way to work. We will see in the next weeks. Okay, first of all, start speaking about you, your past, how you become an instructor, how do you feel with the sport, and something as well.
Yeah, so as to say, my life story when it comes to sports and cycling. So ever since an early age, I was very enthusiastic about practicing different sports, but I couldn't find something that really motivated me or made me really passionate with that special activity or sport in order to continue further down the line for performance. So what happened was during my university years that I was studying, I was in Cluj-Napoca, and I began to I actually continued to go to work out at gyms around the place where I was staying. So at one point in 2009, I had the chance to go for a workout at a big fitness center, which was practically the most renowned in the whole region. And that was my first contact with, let's say, bigger fitness clubs, and with hundreds of people. And of course, it was a challenge for me to become a better version of myself. And from 2009 to 2011, I was training there every week, 4 or 5 times a week. After my job was finished in the afternoon, I was going to train, because I was also working throughout the years when I was studying. So I was really into bodybuilding and fitness generally, and only after 2 years I was attracted by what was happening in a cycling studio. And from 2011 to 2012, I was attending a lot of classes on cycling and also other group fitness disciplines like Les Mills and everything. So the studios were like next to each other. And I was always into fitness, and an opportunity presented itself. I mean, the club was looking for a new club manager, and I applied for the job. And when I was asked about what makes me give up my current job in order to take up a new job, I was saying that I would do something that I'm really passionate about, and I have the chance to change people's lives by creating more adequate facilities based on the administrative activities that I was to do. And I had the opportunity to become the club manager of that big center in 2011. And in 2012, I was, asked about a person who really is a mentor for me in fitness, from Peter Abjorn. He was asking, what do I believe about group fitness in general, and there was an opportunity to take up the education, the bronze level education in cycling, and I was in Bucharest to follow the bronze level certification with Stefano Ruggeri, a very special person for me that I had the chance to interview this year. And he opened up the door for me for indoor cycling, and ever since, from 2011 to 2013, I was both managing the club and I was also teaching classes. And from 2013, I was working for other companies, and I was continuing just with group fitness classes. And in 2014, I had the pleasure to meet my wife in one of the classes that I was teaching. Actually, that was in 2013 November, if I remember correctly. And ever since 2014, we are together.
She was an instructor, or
she was a participant in class. And now in 2020, she is my favorite instructor. Because ever since 2014 to 2020, on that big 6-year span, it happened a lot when it comes to fitness, because we moved to another city, we opened up our own studio, we began to organize the international cycling event, Schwinn cycling event in Romania, which is Transylvania Cycling Challenge, every year in August. And we began to attend international events. We had the opportunity and the honor to teach at international cycling events, and that's where we also met in 2017 in Zurich. So it's such a big story that is very difficult to compile. But what I have to say to conclude it all is that the decision to enter the fitness world was one of the best things in my life, because this is how my entire life has changed, and this is how I had the chance to meet my wife and to have the life that we are having this day. Even though there are a lot of challenges, with all the activities and the classes and the thousands of hours of cycling that you are to create great experiences for the people in front of you and share everything that you have in your heart and in your mind. It's worth it, and I would do the same thing all over again if I had the choice to. So that's like past to present.
I try to compress and translate.
Yeah, it's very difficult for me as well. I imagine for you in Italian.
Before I want to say hello to your friend, probably that is right. Buona dimenata. Good morning. Che ci sta seguendo, is follow us in this moment. Allora, ha raccontato questo in breve, che nel 2009, nel 2010, innanzitutto Luciano ha 35 anni, quindi 10-11 anni fa, finiti gli studi, stava lavorando, è entrato in un club ed è stato affascinato dal mondo del fitness. Nei weekend frequentava tutti i corsi possibili, è stato subito rimasto appassionato dal bodybuilding, dalle attività, e poi ha iniziato anche a frequentare gli sport di gruppo. Dopo alcuni anni ha iniziato a pedalare, è diventato istruttore. Nel frattempo poi ha anche conosciuto sua moglie, che era un'allieva, e che da 1 o 2 anni è diventata anche lei istruttrice, e lo coadiuva, lavorano insieme in questo progetto che hanno una splendida famiglia, 2 bambini magici, che vedo sempre le foto che mettono su Facebook. E andiamo a fare ancora un'altra domanda. How do you feel your certification in the Schwinn Cycling School? The first, and then also the master certification.
How was the first certification that I was doing in 2012, or the first one that I had the chance to teach?
Both. In the first as instructor, and then in the master.
I was nervous at both of them. So yeah, before we go forward, I'd like to thank to say a big thank you to all the people that kind of shaped my journey so far. And it all began, of course, as I was saying, with Peter Ambjorn, and further down the line with all the great instructors that I had the chance to meet and learn from. And I'm truly honored to say that right now they are my colleagues, and you know who you are. It's Stefano, Lou, Igor, Martina, Andrei, everyone out there. I'm really happy that we get to continue to build together some incredible stuff, and for the worldwide community of Schwinn cycling. And practically right now, I'm working together with Move On Fitness School and the fabulous team there, and we are trying to always give our best to all the fitness enthusiasts in Romania who attend educations organized by Move On. And through these educations, including the Schwinn cycling education, every person has the chance to invest in themselves, which is actually the best thing you can do. So the first education that I attended was my bronze level certification. It meant a lot because it opened the door and my mind to a lot of challenges, I would say, because throughout the years I had the chance to ramp up to silver level and then to gold level, and further down the line the opportunity to work together with the fitness distributor in Romania with Move On in order to also deliver educations. So throughout all these years, the continuous preparation took a lot of dedication and passion, and there are so many I have to mention. I'm sorry if I'm missing some names, but you know, the last person who kind of leveled me up to the knowledge set required to deliver educations was Jorge Martins from Portugal. So I had the opportunity to learn bits and pieces from every one of my colleagues and to add them to everything that I was thinking as useful to deliver to the attendees in Romania. So I had multiple educations, bronze level and also silver level in Romania, and you put a part of yourself in all the educations that you are teaching, and it's practically the opening of a door. The relationship doesn't stop in that weekend where you are delivering the education, because every instructor practically needs your guidance and your experience further down the line when then they ascend themselves to silver, gold, and so on. So practically it's a continuous relationship based on full support from my side and any other master instructor in Schwinn out there who had the chance to change people's lives through the educations that they are teaching on a weekly, monthly, or annual basis, representing the countries where they are from. So
how many master are there in the moment in Europe?
In Europe, there are around, I would say, I would conclude with EMEA, you know, and Middle East as well. So around 52, 55 master instructor.
Okay.
So
I try to translate your
just to have an overview about it.
Allora, Luciano ha raccontato che ha fatto il percorso. In Schwinn ci sono i colori bronzo, silver e oro, gold, e poi salendo di livello è diventato uno degli istruttori più importanti nella sua nazione, è andato in contatto con il distributore Move On Fitness, che è l'azienda che si occupa della rivendita delle biciclette di Schwinn Cycling in Romania, e da lì è iniziata tutta un'esperienza. Ha citato anche il nostro incontro che vorrei un attimino raccontare. 4 anni fa sono stato invitato da Christian Vassalli a Zurigo a una convention che si chiama Remember the name of the convention, Passion and More, che era un evento storico. Tra l'altro è stata la mia grande maratona, perché abbiamo fatto 14 ore di seguito senza le pause. Era un programma di Mixmeister dietro l'altro.
La 5 ora da me.
Okay.
La 50.
Da 50 minuti. E quindi ha salutato un po' tutti i suoi amici, di chi si ricorda e chi non, e ha raccontato che gli istruttori vanno seguiti, e per lui è molto importante fare da guida per dare delle motivazioni, quindi è un formatore che ci mette veramente tanta passione ed entusiasmo nel lavoro che fa. Go on. During the lockdown, you have an extraordinary, I don't know in English,
Story.
primate. You created the first indoor cycling online convention in the world. I remember that I wrote about the first or the second weekend of May. You have 3 days, 9 hours, and tell us about
Yeah.
the idea to create this digital convention, and how was your experience about this? So then we
Yeah.
move to speak about technology and
Of course.
okay.
Of course. So before I present the whole context about that, I'd like to say that another initiative during this time where people needed all the motivation that they could get, and they needed to keep close to the instructors that they followed. Another initiative for the Schwinn cycling community was the online interviews, where I had the chance to teach to interview a lot of my colleagues, and that initiative will continue. But it's very important to know that online can mean a lot for so many people, because they don't have to travel that much. They don't have to make that set of big efforts in order to be in another city to meet another person. They can see online. Of course, it's not the same effect, but it's more than nothing. So regarding the online cycling and the convention that you were mentioning, I had the honor and the opportunity to be invited by Core Health and Fitness and Moto Sumo to teach classes at the first live stream mania SCW event organized from US but broadcasted worldwide. And practically throughout the 3 days, I had each day I had classes to teach alongside my colleagues, Lou Atkinson, Sonia Friend, and Pete McCall. So they were representing Core Health and Fitness, and also Moto Sumo, and showing the showcasing the Moto Sumo app, which offers the opportunity for all the people all around the world who are riding at the same time to be connected to the same class and see their online results in the same time. So practically, it was a way to connect people worldwide, and having the chance to use our studio to broadcast that class meant using the bike, using the camera, the lights, the laptop, the sound system and everything, in order to create an immersive experience for everyone who was joining from the comfort of their home or any other gyms or any other location. Some were riding from outdoor and watching on the phone or watching on a tablet the class. So it was a big number in participants. There were around 50 or 60 at some point, and it practically was happening on Zoom as a platform, but I had the full support provided by the organizer of ICW Mania, whom I thank for having the patience with me, and the full support of Becky Mack, who is our coordinator in education, and also the big support from the whole team of master instructors who were also, some of them were attending the class too. So practically it was a convention where people could sign up and pay for a certain fee, and they could attend any classes that they were selecting from the schedule. And that there wasn't any huge difference in technicality, because the best thing is to keep it simple. So Zoom was chosen as a platform, and the entire experience, from what I could feel on the feedback of the riders during the class, was fairly all right. I mean, there wasn't any big technical difficulty or issue. So I was also using my laptop and the applications like OBS and Mixmeister, you know, to mix up the music. And I was using OBS to present an interface on the screen that I was sharing, you know, as my camera during the Zoom session, in order to show exactly the heart rate, the number of RPM and everything that was taken from the application being open on each of the attendees' phone. So practically they had their phone, they put their phone on the bike, and I could see on my screen and on the screen of the camera that I was broadcasting from, they could see the heart rate of the other riders. They could interact with emojis and use all the great stuff that the app offers. So that's a free app, you know, for everyone who's riding, and it's subscription possible for the instructors and the studio who choose to go forward with MotoSumo, which is actually the all-in-one tool for instructors out there. I mean, it's the way you can see their results every second, and you can interact and play games and send emojis and all that stuff. I'm gonna show you one day how it works, and you can give me the feedback. We are using it on our screen right here in the studio for all the people in the studio and for all the people back home, because from 1st of July, we've resumed the activity in our studio with a few bikes, and the other people are still connecting through Zoom from home and are watching the class being delivered both on-site and online. So practically, the guys back home can watch on Zoom what happens with the heart rate or with the speed of the pedals, or can interact with emojis with the people that are in the studio and with the people that are anywhere in the world that are using the app at that point in time and choosing Hard Cycling Studio as location for their workout. So I think that's a formidable thing that helped in keeping close the community and helped on efficiently providing workouts for all the people that want to work out, even though they were staying in their homes and not attending any gyms. And I mean, the current reality shows that there are a few people who started with us from March with online classes and are still doing online classes, even though they can go to a gym. They still prefer to ride from the comfort of their home and attend the class through Zoom.
It's the same here in Italy, the same. Okay,
Yeah.
riassumo, ad aprile, a maggio è stato invitato in una convention organizzato dalla Headcore, la casa madre di Schwinn, e da questa azienda che ha citato più volte, che si chiama MotoSumo, che è una app di di monitoraggio dei parametri vitali online, che li hanno fatti interagire tra di loro, e da lì gli è nata l'idea di fare anche una convention nel suo centro, nella sua nazione, che è andata abbastanza bene perché ha avuto una sessantina di partecipanti, era 3 giorni con 9 ore di lezione. Il suo setup di montaggio è camera, PC, una scheda di acquisizione per poter interagire con questi parametri o dei grafici o il Mixmeister, quello che si vuole, quindi usando OBS fanno una composizione, quindi un livello un po' superiore di non solo una semplice trasmissione diretta, ma un'elaborazione con i login. Io mi ricordo anche che avevamo parlato proprio in quel mese per darci dei consigli reciproci. E poi ha raccontato le stesse cose che viviamo qui in Italia, nel senso che le persone inizialmente hanno fatto questo per non rimanere isolate, poi hanno apprezzato, per chi ha problemi a muoversi, a trasferirsi, e hanno apprezzato questo modo di lavorare da casa e ora continuano a seguire questo criterio. Dal 1° luglio lui ha iniziato ad avere anche le classi presenti in sala e quindi fanno una lezione ibrida dove ci sono sia le lezioni in sala che le persone a casa, e usano come noi tutti Zoom Meeting come piattaforma di condivisione per fare la diretta finale. Well, how do you think will be the future, the next autumn and winter season?
So from my personal experience so far and my own perspective, I would say that the online classes would of course continue, because this is not only strictly related to safety, which is like 90% of the reason. 10% maybe of the reason is of the time efficiency and the cost efficiency, because for some people it's more feasible to do an investment in their own bike or in their own trainer or in their own, let's say, mini gym back home, rather than to go in other fitness centers. So there are a lot of people who are investing in equipment like full body equipment that they can use in their own mini gyms, or they buy a bike, or both. So practically they are investing in the resources that they would use for online training, and it means less time that they have to use for that particular training. Like if it takes you like half an hour or 1 hour to get to the fitness center because of traffic, then half an hour or 1 hour to return to your job or to return to your home, then it makes sense to have your own bike home and continue with doing online classes with the instructors that you would like to meet in the studio, but maybe they are too far away in another city or in another country, because what we experienced was also welcoming international attendees for our online classes on Zoom. So they had the chance to ride with us, we had the chance to meet them. So practically no geographical boundaries when it comes to online cycling classes. And I think the education will also continue in parallel with on-site and online, meaning an opportunity to reach more people, and also an efficiency in time and costs for everyone that is being involved in those activities. So for example, for my wife and I, we are teaching in our studio. We have a few people joining the classes, other people online. Education probably will happen the same in the future down the line. So I think it will take, let's say, 6 to 12 months or even more until we get to a more similar normality, like all the things were before. So you guys in Italy know better than us what it means to being hit with something you don't fully comprehend from the start, and see the cause and the effects further down the line, and also, let's say, the adaptation, which is very important because we have to adapt to move forward. So we are hoping that in Romania also the situation will decrease even more, and we will have the opportunity also to travel by plane, not only by online means, to events that we had to cancel our appearance at, for example, this year. And of course, we hold hope for October, which is 31st October, will be the next edition in Passion and More, as you were mentioning earlier. The event continues as it is the most, let's say, most well-known event in indoor cycling when it comes to Schwinn cycling, because now it will be like the 16th edition. And we were planning to be there, both of us, and we are waiting to see what happens during these months until beginning of October to fully understand how we can travel, because a very simple thing that you haven't noticed before when you were to travel from one country to another, or when you had every month you had to travel for events or education. It was everything that you could see it was difficult was, let's say, the time, the exhaustion, or let's say the resources. And right now you practically cannot do a very simple thing like you were doing it before, just go on a plane and travel to another country, because if you're traveling today, for example, to Switzerland, Romania is on the list with the quarantine, so you have to stay 10 days in quarantine. So things like these weren't present before in our, let's say, planning of events, of travel and holidays even. So we were very disappointed because we had to cancel the event for this year, the Transylvania Cycling Challenge, but to postpone it for next year, for 7th August. So it was a big hit for us and for the people who wanted to join the event as well, because every fiber in our body was cheering for the moment when we get to be reunited with all the people who are passionate about cycling and choose to attend our event. So we had to postpone it for next year, because even though all the plane tickets were bought already for the presenter team and a lot of costs were covered, we had to postpone and hope to recover those costs, because we couldn't have anyone come and teach in a situation where it's an emergency, it's an alert state right now after the emergency state. So I think all the events were affected by this worldwide. We didn't want to create something like very small or minimal and affect the entire, let's say, build up of the event from year to year. So the event started in 2014 with 2 hours and 20 bikes. And next year we are aiming to 100 and 120 bikes with more than 200 people. So every year it grows, and we couldn't organize something that wasn't on the same trajectory, I would say. So yeah, the online part would definitely continue. This was a question I was also addressing to the people I was interviewing. So the online part will definitely continue, because the request is different. Some people want to come back in the studio, other people do not want to come back in the studio, and they prefer to go either with their bike outside more, or buy a bike and have it in their own living room, or in their own place, or on their own terrace, and do an online class. I mean, it depends on every person's let's say desire, and every person's perception about what group fitness really means. For some people it's not such a big difference to see everything online. For other people it makes a huge difference and cannot connect that well online with their the instructor in front of them.
How is the connection internet net in your country?
I mean, Romania was on the top 5, if I remember correctly, countries where the internet was at the best speed. So I think it depends, because you couldn't generalize the internet quality, speed quality, I would say, in Romania, because I would say 95% of the people who are teaching online classes, for example, or teaching online education, still think that it's more than sufficient to be on a wireless connection instead of a wired connection. And it's very simple, because they have to connect one cable, to their router, and to ensure they have a large bandwidth. So, I mean, we haven't started online classes at that particular moment, we studied, both me and my wife, we studied the situation for like 1 or 2 weeks, made some investments when it comes to a camera, a tripod, you know, better mixer, lights, and of course, what started the investment was a larger bandwidth for internet, because it's no use when you can, you know, download everything at a high speed, but if you don't have the upload speed,
it's the ABC.
Yeah.
It's the first thing that you have to have, the sync connection. I
Exactly.
translate a little bit what you said.
Yeah.
Prima ha
Translate.
parlato di 2 parole chiave. Il primo è efficienza e costi, quindi dice sicuramente il grande vantaggio della digitalizzazione dello sport porta a risolvere tanti problemi legati ai costi. Poi ha parlato anche di speranza, perché comunque dice non sarà questo solo il futuro, ma aspettiamo tempi migliori per poter ritornare a incontrarci, a fare lezioni, non per forza in settimana, ma almeno negli eventi, nei weekend. Ha parlato dei 2 grandi eventi, quindi Passion and More, nuova edizione di ottobre. Adesso contatterò Christian per sapere un po' di news, ma al momento il grande problema sono i movimenti attraverso le nazioni, perché in certi posti necessiti, quando ritorni, di tampone, e soprattutto nei casi più restrittivi della quarantena, che ti obbliga a stare 1, 2, 10 giorni bloccata a casa, con conseguenze poi sul lavoro. E ha parlato del suo evento che è nato 6 anni fa, che quest'anno ovviamente non ha potuto parlare. Ha iniziato nel 2014 con 15-20 bici, e punta il prossimo anno ad avere 100-120 bike, e lui organizza un evento. The date is about
7th August next year.
16
So the details are on hardcycling.ro. You find challenge.hardcycling.ro. You can find the details there.
Ok, lui organizza sempre nel weekend di Ferragosto questo meeting per gli appassionati di uscine in Romania, in un bellissimo posto in Transilvania, e quindi sta già lavorando per l'edizione dell'anno prossimo, incrociando le
So
dita.
practically the event is outside and at a theme hotel, which is created with the theme of a castle. So the location is Castle Inn, and the event is outside. A huge tent, and you can see, you know, videos on Facebook, on Hard Cycling Studio page about it. I mean, it's more than cycling, and as you know, our friend Gerd, who was actually writing a comment right there,
Yeah.
he always says it's more than just about the bike, and he's completely right.
E poi ho chiesto anche com'è la situazione della connessione di banda larga in Romania. Ha detto che è una delle prime 5 nazioni in Europa e non ci sono grandi problemi per le connessioni, quindi diventa uno di quei requisiti base che ovviamente servono non tanto per chi riceve, che è più facile, ma per chi insegna. Ma ha detto che problemi non ne hanno, ed è bello vedere come nonostante siamo a distanza di, penso, 1500 chilometri, un fuso orario anche diverso, e loro sono un'ora più avanti, eppure siamo un'unica comunità europea, perché le situazioni sono identiche. Io vedo le stesse cose che viviamo
Sì.
qua, sono tradotte nelle sue parole della situazione locale in questo momento nella sua città. Gerd answer exactly. Anche prima Ciro in Italia Forward dice, parlando di streaming at home, dice "And this will be the new method to still continue to spin at home. At the moment there are no other way."
Yes, I cannot hear you right now, but I cannot hear you right now, but I can only imagine you are translating. I haven't touched anything. Yes, I think your mic is muted or something like that because it shows as muted on my screen. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean the mic is being shown as muted on your side. Probably during the comments that popped up, your microphone was muted. Yeah, I can see myself with the Zoom, and I cannot see you right now. If you guys can hear me, I'd like to say that I'm well aware of the technical challenges that an interview can present the person who is organizing it. So please bear with us for one moment until we actually until Giancarlo gets it solved. I'll get closer to the screen to have a look myself, and closer to you. Oh, you guys are stuck with me. Well, I think Giancarlo is connecting the wires, so to say, there. So before he returns, I'd like to add that during all the interviews that I was organizing, one of the first things on my list was not to speak that much and let the person that I was interviewing speak more to you guys. So right now it's being converted in a way that this is already a monologue. So let's just wait for a few seconds until Giancarlo returns, because he has full control over the setup. But if that doesn't happen, I have my bike right here, so we're gonna start the class. What I have to say is that Giancarlo is a specialist when it comes to technology and online streaming, and he does such formidable work with West Beach crew in Italy, and I know a lot of people are learning a lot from him and from the, let's say, the ingenious stuff that he's creating and the tools that he's using and also selling through his online shop. If you guys have more questions, you can always send me a message. I'll do my best to respond in time, and you can easily send me an email or any questions that you need my answer on or my help with. So I'm here to help. Let me check again right here on my screen as well. Okay, guys, we are still waiting on Giancarlo to connect. So I hope you had the chance to listen to the interview so far, and maybe, who knows, we're gonna have a second interview in order to properly conclude with the questions and with my answers that I hope will meet the expectation. Okay, guys. So this was my first interview, and thank you, Giancarlo, for making it happen. I hope that we can connect again to have to create the second part and the end of it. For all of you guys watching and hearing me, I'd like to give you all my best, and a big thank you to everyone who has who practically had a role in their own way, good, better, best, or the other way around in my life. And I like to thank my wife for everything that I'm today as a person, as an instructor as well, and to thank her again for being with the little ones while while I'm in the interview. So until next time, all the best to you guys, and I hope we will have the chance to meet each other in person, or to ride together in classes, or at any of the events that you decide to attend. And take good care, stay safe, and I hope you have enjoyed this interview. Ciao, ciao.